Shalom, shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Bahasham, Harakak Wadash, and double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone who rule and teach well, and honors and salutations to the men of the Lord doing the same and teaching the same. All right. The title of this sit down, this quick lesson will be Babylon the Great America is isolating herself. Okay. Babylon the Great America is playing right into the hands of the Lord. Okay. And there's nothing that Esau, the so-called white man, can do about it. Okay. So just breaking it down spiritually and according to the Bible, because these answers you're not going to get nowhere else but from the men of the Lord, beginning with the elder apostles, great millstone, on down to the least of us. All right. So why is Babylon the Great America keep isolating herself? Because it's prophecy. All right. It's the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus Christ. All right. So the Lord wants World War III. All right. The Lord is against Babylon the Great America. Okay. All right. So the only people that don't see that and can't see that is, you must be an atheist. All right. If you can't clearly see, all right, that the Lord is against Babylon the Great America. Like this place is worse, the worst. Okay. All type of wickedness and evil under the sun goes down in Babylon the Great America. Okay. and this place get violent by the day. As time goes on, this place gets more and more violent according to prophecy. Okay. So this is not this is not a place for you to enjoy life. You can't enjoy life in captivity, in oppression, under Esau, the so-called white man's rulership. All right, for you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, who are the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, Esau even oppressing the lower level Edomites. The peasants. The lower level ones that's living check to check, middle class and poor. Esau fucking over them too. And they're gonna fuck over them more when they take away these benefits. Okay, these governmental benefits. Okay. So without further ado, this Jeremiah 51:6, verse 6, it says, Flee out of the midst of Babylon, America, and deliver every man his soul. All right. So you're not gonna physically flee Babylon the Great America. All right. You don't have to flee to another country. You don't have to flee to Canada or Mexico. All right. The Lord is gonna come get us. Like we tell you you believers, all right, fellow believers, paying attention and listening and learning in truth and sincerity, all right. We flee out of the midst of Babylon spiritually, all right. You take off the garment, the clothes, spiritually speaking, all right, of this westernized way of living. All right. All the philosophies and ideologies all right, and the ways of life with which you was taught and growing up in Babylon, the Great America, you know, you got to put that off, you know, and become a new creature in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. All right. Okay. And you got to have a mind after the Lord's own heart. Like King David had his heart meaning his mind was after, was like-minded with Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. Okay. So it says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. All right. So Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah is about to judge Babylon, the Great America. And the Lord is doing it now. The Lord is doing it now, but he's turning it up. All right. The Lord is not going to stop. The Lord is not going to stop judging Babylon, the Great America, until this place is completely destroyed. Okay. All right. So that's why Babylon, the Great America, is being isolated and, just being jumped, about to quote a precept I already got ready, marked and noted. But, all these other nations, they're going to team up against Babylon, the Great America, so these tariffs, all right, the tariffs is just causing further division, in this ancient Roman Empire, reborn, all right, as Babylon, the Great America, and the NATO and the EU, all right. So these tariffs is going to further cause division. Nations this is bringing division. These nations are being divided, all right, and tension is building up, and that's going to put wood in the fire, all right. So that's going to lead to World War III going nuclear, all right. So that's the end of Jacob's trouble, all right. When those nuclear missiles start shooting. When those nuclear missiles start shooting, that's the end of Jacob's trouble, the apocalypse, or what the world called the apocalypse. Collapse of civilization and this modern society, which is in the near future. All right, so it's going to be far worse. It's going to be far worse than anyone can imagine. All right. And the Lord is causing all this to happen, to bring judgment. Okay. And it's a precept too. I think it's 2 Ezra 14. But let me finish this off. I might not get it. I might not get it because if I get that precept, I'm gonna have to, go into the hell breakdown and prove how hell don't exist. All right, then that's gonna lead me to reincarnation. So that's a sit down for another day. All right, but I believe it was in 2 Ezra 14. This Jeremiah 51:7. Jeremiah 51:7. All right, it says, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken, and the nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. Okay, so this place, America, been the superpower, strongest nation for a while. Okay, but these other nations are sick and tired of her bullying and suppressing these other nations. Their economy, all right, and suppressing their way of life, okay, and just forcing for one, forcing these sanctions and tariffs on these different countries. All right. And for two, just forcing that Western these Western philosophies and ways of life, forcing it on these other nations. Like, give you an example. Forgot. Basically, a woman flew. I don't know if it was during the Trump administration or the Biden administration, but a woman flew to one of the countries in Africa. I'm trying to remember which one it was. But and the brothers probably know the place once I say what I'm gonna say. But one of the countries in Africa, so-called Africa, the land of Ham, they banned the LGBTQ. All right. And I forgot the penalty, but I think the penalty was like jail time or some shit like that, or probably firing squad. But yeah, they had zero tolerance. I want to say Ghana, but I might be wrong. But they had zero tolerance for the LGBTQ. So of course, America sends one of their ambassadors to be like, hey, that's wrong. Gay people got rights too, so that's how Babylon the Great America, they just they push their vibration throughout the earth and try to force these other nations to dance to their beat. And now this shit is backfiring on them. Okay? This shit is backfiring on them. So it says, therefore the nations are mad. Okay? Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. Yes. People are panicking. People are in a state of fear and confused. They in a confused state. And that's why the elder apostles, all right, a great millstone, they tell us to, be vigilant and circumspect, all right, other times, okay? That's why you, it don't matter if they got a big celebration going on or a celebrity in town or anything like that, like what Alizé did, going to the Super Bowl and things like that. That was carnal. That was carnal and not wise. All right, we're in the last days. We're in the end times. So with that being said, you're gonna have, and then you've been having major events happening all around the world, including in different states in America. All right, so it's not wise to to be teaching in certain areas, or just trying to you trying to go teach at a special event so you can get some views, or chasing clout. All right, that's what it's not about. All right, we're going to chief place of concourse. All right, you go somewhere where the truth, all right, can have free course. Okay, where the camera can actually hear you. All right, you're not gonna go right next to a band that's playing at a special concert or whatever, just because you're gonna they got famous people there, or they got 10,000 people there and things like that. All right. So for false prophets that's moving like that, they're gonna run into a situation that they don't want to run into, and that happened with IUIC. IUIC, They went to I forgot where they went, but they went somewhere in Africa, and they got stoned. you know, trying to, you know, it was either in trying to remember what is it. It was someplace in Africa, but IUIC went down there, and they don't understand prophecy. They don't understand prophecy. They don't understand the scriptures at all. All right, but they went down there, and you know, just got themselves in a heat of trouble. All right, in the heat of battle. All right, but Salakia, hey, got off topic. But this Luke 10 and 18, Luke 10 and 18. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. All right? And that represents Esau, the so-called white man, falling out of power, falling from the top, all right, from rulership, dominion. All right, because right now, the so-called white man, Caucasian, all right, European, these different modern names that they go by, but their biblical nationality, all right, is Edomites, Idumeans, okay, from Mount Seir, Mount Petra, all right. So they're falling fast. They're losing. Babylon the Great America is falling fast, and the whole world is watching. The whole world is watching this place fall fast. I'm gonna get straight to it. I want verse 10. There's Isaiah 14 and 10. I was gonna get all of it, but I'm gonna just get 10. All right, Isaiah 14 and 10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Right? In the nations, they're considering that. They're having counsel on that, and they're going with their moves. China been spying, flying drones over military bases in America, using their farmlands, the property they own, and things like that. All right, so they're doing cyber attacks. Okay, so these nations are conjuring up plans to take down Babylon the Great America. All right, so don't let mainstream media fool you like shit all gravy. Things is cool. It's not that bad. We still got time to hit a U-turn. No, everything is going to get worse, worse, worse. All right. It's no solution. All right, there's no solution for Babylon the Great America, okay? So with that, I want to end it and give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Harakakwadash, double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone, who rule and teach well, and honors and salutations to the men of the Lord, doing the same and teaching the same. Shalom.